come around for sympathy, can you show it? I need a little maternal love, no assistance. Now I'm so upset because I forget how you show it. Heard something I don't like, tried your best to get it right. Too bad I'm served over ice. You're on the wire, you might wanna tread a little lighter. One mistake, you fall into the fire. You may be tough, but I bet I'm one tighter. Tried your best, still I'm upset when you're on the wire. Another Saturday night, young band on the road. Decision time, a big talk brews, and we know it. Say your piece, move on, yeah, that's how it goes. I get so attached, I'm feeling attacked, and they know it. There's something I don't like, tried your best to get it right. Too bad I'm served over ice. You're on the wire, you might wanna tread a little lighter. One mistake, you fall into the fire. You may be tense, but I bet I'm one tighter. Tried your best, still I'm upset and you're on the wire. The way I stare you down, I don't like it either. Maybe I should be a little kinder. I'm icing up the ones that I admire. Tried your best, still I'm upset and you're on the wire. Tried your best, I'm upset and you're on the wire. You're on the wire, baby. You're on the wire. You're on the wire. You're on the wire. Oh, you're on the wire, and you might wanna tread a little lighter. One mistake, you fall into the fire.
Recorded live in studio for World Cafe. It's Couch with the performance of On the Wire. It's from the Boston band's debut album, Big Talk. And joining me to talk about it is Tema, Zach, Jared, Will, Danny, Jeffrey, and Eric from Couch. I am Kallao. This is World Cafe. Welcome all. It's so nice to meet. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
So I love a good origin story. And Tema, am I correct in reading this that part of the origin story of Couch involves a concussion?
Yes, unfortunately. Zach has had 6 concussions now.
What?
But the very first concussion occurred the summer that we met. We were all like amped up to play music together. And then we found out that we couldn't overstimulate his brain. So we'd go over to his parents' house. We'd go down in the basement. We'd like turn off the lights, sit on the couch and just play some quiet music together.
And so that's the very beginnings of the band.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, the band started in fall 18. It was several years before you were all sharing a stage together, working remotely, partially during the pandemic. What did that look like?
Yeah, I mean, we were all at college during the pandemic. And so we'd kind of already gotten some practice recording and writing remotely. We would FaceTime a lot and send voice memos back and forth. And so once the pandemic hit, I feel like we just kind of used that time, like the extra time that we had from being at home, to sink our teeth into these projects that we wanted to explore even further.
I mean, it sounds like, I don't want to say a nightmare logistically, but a dynamic with the 7-piece band, everyone sharing parts, maybe not in the same place. Like, how did you find your sort of sea legs when it comes to doing things so, you know, unconventionally compared to like 4 guys going into a basement and just making some music?
I think it helped early on. A lot of the songs that we made were fueled by a really distinct creative vision by one or two members of the band, and that person could kind of have all the files live on their computer and call a lot of the shots creatively. And that's sort of how we operated. And there are a bunch of us in the band who have that skill set and have that drive to project manage like that. And it's been really nice for this latest album, Big Talk, to be in the same room and have more of that traditional experience you just mentioned.
Yeah. What was it like when it finally came together and everyone was united on a stage? Because it must feel unfamiliar, but at the same time, a real joy to like, we're actually doing this.
It was really cool. It was definitely like our first proper gig ever was 2021 at Rockwood Music Hall in New York City.
Wow.
And we took it super seriously at the level like Zach and Will were drawing a chalk outline of the stage like in someone's driveway
To
and making
scale.
sure to just because we were like 7 people trying to fit on a pretty small like quarter circle stage. They mapped that out. It's like, we're not going to mess this up. And it was basically a slam dunk. We played back-to-back nights. We sold out both of them. And yeah, I mean, I feel like there are a lot of people who still come to our shows that were there at the ground floor at that Rockwood show, which is really special to us. So I'd say it was pretty electric when we finally got there.
And musically was really interesting too, because it was so early on and a lot of us were still in college. So it was the first time we were actually playing that set live together in the same room, because I remember very vividly, I was still in college and Zach actually came to DC where I went to school and went through the set with me in a practice room, and it was just me and him. And then flew to New York and we all did the show together. And that was actually the first time that we really played that particular set together, which is an interesting experience. And it went great and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like something out of a movie, you know?
Yeah.
Sure. Were there any growing pains during those first kind of rehearsals, like figuring out like how we make this work in person? Because it seems like a fun problem to solve.
One of the biggest growing pains that we had is, as we just discussed, a lot of our music was released before we had ever played a show. And we built this music part by part, very cerebrally and methodically. And when it came time to just play these songs with only 7 of us, we're like, a lot of these arrangements don't really make sense when we can't have 10 vocal harmonies and 12 horn parts and stuff like that and 3 synth layers. So we kind of worked around that by early on actually adding a lot of musicians. Like, we had background vocalists, we had a second keyboard player. We then figured out that Danny can play 2 keyboards.
Problem solved.
So yeah, a lot of our early growing pains, and it's still a challenge today, is when we make music before we perform it, figuring out how to translate those recordings into something we can do on stage.
Jeffrey, I think I read a comment from you talking about that, particularly with Big Talk, with some of the more electronic based, like some of those things, and translating. What was the solution to like bringing some of the more, that complicated elements or more synthier elements to the live performance?
Yeah, I don't think there's one just definitive answer for what it is. The songs that I most distinctly remember us having trouble really getting to feel good were some of the earlier ones, like Still Feeling You. I distinctly remember took us a while to really feel good about that song and how we do it live. Summer With You is another one that we've evolved how we do it over time. And on Big Talk, this album is a little bit different because with most of the songs, we had the opportunity to rehearse it together and write the songs on this instrumentation before we ever went into the studio. So at least the bones of the song make sense with this instrumentation. And then, we spruce it up in the studio and in production.
Very cool.
I'll also add to that, Danny just got a new keyboard and it has all these bells and whistles. So he can like play a chord and then it arpeggiates it and then it keeps going and he can sync it to the speed of the song. And he has a lot of fancy stuff going on there. So shout out to Danny. He's been like coordinating, planning out his presets for every song. Yeah,
That's definitely true that on a lot of the songs in this project that we want to play live, there are just so many synth layers and so many keys layers that I may have recorded each one individually, and now I have just 2 hands and I have just 2 keyboards. Just the point that, you asked, like, what was the solution? I think it's an ongoing kind of puzzle that is sort of fun to try to solve. Like, how do we translate these songs that are so layered that have maybe like 100, 200 tracks in the session live in a way that sounds good? And there's like Jeff said, there's just not one answer. You just have to kind of get in the room and rehearse and see what works and try a bunch of things. And
I'm going to check back in with you in 2032 and see how many keyboards you're surrounded by at that point. If you're just joining us on World Cafe, we are talking with Couch. Their debut album is out now. It is called Big Talk. This is I think it's fair to say this is a Boston band. Yes? Is it? I know that it's around the area, the Metro Boston area. Y'all grew up there. A lot of bands will decamp to New York City or Los Angeles or Nashville. What keeps you connected to Boston?
Yeah, so I just feel like there's no real reason for us to go anywhere else because everything we have is pretty much in Boston already. So I feel like, it's where our headquarters are, and I don't picture us leaving anytime soon.
That's really cool.
I'll add, Tema made an interesting point a couple days ago that even though we are a Boston-based band and Boston is our roots for most of us, when we started as a band, none of us were living in Boston. And then we went on our first tour and a half without even playing a Boston show. So we were able to grow nationally without relying on our hometown. And now we can go out and do a tour and come back somewhere very comfortable and familiar without feeling like it's limiting us from being able to reach the rest of the country.
Yeah, and from what I hear, a sold-out show at legendary venue Roadrunner happening very, very soon. So that's got to be cool to do a hometown show like that.
Yeah,
We're stoked.
we're absolutely pumped. Roadrunner is a new venue, and it's really beautiful. We opened up for Corey Wong there this past year. But to be able to play a headline show there, that room holds 3,500 people. Like, that is the biggest headline crowd we played to. And it's going to be filled with family and friends and musical mentors that we all had growing up. So I think we're all expecting it to be one of the most exciting and maybe emotional shows of the tour.
Well, extra Kleenex for tears and whatnot, right? This is World Cafe. Up next, a performance of a song from the new album. Listening to this, there's intrigue, there's heartbreak, possible betrayal. I'm not sure. Tema, can you tell me what's going on in Middleman?
Yeah, no betrayal. Excuse me. Middleman is Middleman explores the kind of complex and fluid relationships that I think queer women, especially bisexual women, can have with each other. And so it's about a night out with a friend trying to help me get a guy, only for the guy to go for the friend, and then for me to realize I also would like to go for the friend and want the guy out of the way. So it was a very chaotic and slightly embarrassing evening, but it was so fun to. Jeff actually brought in this sort of EDM demo that provided the foundation, that kind of like dun 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 piano part that you hear. And yeah, I don't know, I heard it and I was like, I want to pair this with lyrics that are sincere and emotional, but also like kind of an energetic release and like a situation that you wouldn't expect to hear over a pop song. Yeah. It turned into a track that's, I think, maybe one of our favorites to play live across the board, and kind of our most directly queer kind of anthemic song. And I hope all the confused bisexual friends enjoy it together.
As a songwriter, how are you with that kind of emotional honesty, where it's one thing to write a poem or something that stays with you, but then it goes out to the world? Was there an internal debate about how much you wanted to share, if these people were going to find out?
Yeah. This song, maybe more than any other, was a big topic in terms of when do we tell the people that this song is about, that there's a song about them on the album. So fortunately, I mean, the person that it's about is someone I have a really meaningful friendship with. And that's why actually there's room for that ambiguity. We're really comfortable with each other and comfortable speaking about challenging things. So I knew I was going to have to tell her at some point, and I felt pretty confident that it would go okay. She'd probably be flattered, probably find it a little bit amusing, but it would also kind of force us to talk about something we'd never discussed. And then the other person in the story is actually Danny's roommate. So we had to tell him too. We basically waited. I waited until the night the album was coming out to call my friend, because I was nervous to tell her. And then we waited until we were listening through the album with Danny's whole household to tell his roommate that it was about him.
Yeah, maybe I'll add some color. It was definitely awesome. Like the whole, everything about it was just so fun to me. And, like definitely it was kind of funny and like slightly awkward, but not super awkward telling these people. like the song was about them. It's also really special to me just knowing like a lot of us, including me, were there this night that all of these things happened. It was at a club that plays disco music. And so we made a dance song about that night. It includes a few of us, but it also includes like a few of our close friends. And it just kind of, to me, is a really kind of, it's a night that's just part of this era that we're in, where we're all living in Boston, many of us in Cambridge, many of us in Somerville, Alston, whatever. And we're hanging out at these places like Glitter Boys, which is a club in Boston. And I just think it's pretty cool that the people who know us now kind of get cemented in our discography in this fun way, in the lore. Exactly.
It's also like nice. Something special about being a musician, being a songwriter in a band is when you're maybe having one of the more embarrassing nights of your life, you can also say to yourself, oh, but I'll be able to make a good song about this.
Well, let's take a listen to Middleman. Recorded live here in Philadelphia. It is Couch on World Cafe.
Short of breath, a glitter mess. We catch some quiet out on Church Street. She's my wings, pulling all the strings. Soon he'll be dancing next to me. But when she walks right in, he forgets me altogether. I watch him winning her over, and it starts to sting, but not how I expected. With a shock, I'm starting to sober.
Recorded live on World Cafe, it's couched with the performance of Slow Burn. You can find it on their debut album, which is available now. It's called Big Talk. The Boston Band are my guests today here on World Cafe. I am Kallao. I want to talk a little bit about the process behind that song, Slow Burn, because one of the things that I found most fascinating looking through the liner notes and the credits is that all of the songs are co-written by Couch. All of the songs are co-produced by Couch, which I think can lead to, I think is an awesome idea, but can make for a tricky dynamic. How did that song in particular, can you walk me through how that started? Who came up with the musical idea and how everyone kind of came together to make it their own?
Yeah, so I think this one started with me in my room messing around on my synth, Roland Juno 106 I have hooked up in my room. And I had this chord progression and I had a melody. And I had sort of a general groove and framework for the song, but I didn't have any lyrics. And so then I had Tema over, and in that one 2-hour session that we had at my house, most of the bones of the song were basically there by the end of that session. And at that point, we have a demo that's maybe a minute long that we feel pretty good about. We bring to the full band in the rehearsal where everyone's at their instruments, and then we start to actually flesh it out with a live arrangement. And that's when you hear more voices. People say, oh, I kind of want to change this chord. I want to change this moment or restructure this. So in the case of this song, I think it starts with one person, then Tema comes in, writes some of the lyrics, and then the full band kind of gets to chew on it together. But it sort of depends song to song how that works. Often there are songs like this where one person has the idea and they kind of come in and pitch it, but sometimes it'll be just a jam that the whole band is there and we're like, maybe this should be a song, and it comes together maybe over the course of several months instead of just one writing session.
Yeah. So is it a situation where certain songs, there's a project manager, there's someone who's kind of, it's their baby and they sort of take point. And then there are other instances where it really does feel like a collaborative effort where everyone's building on top of one another?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate. And there definitely was lots of room on this album for people who maybe weren't so involved with production or writing on previous projects to step up. There just wasn't enough time for one person to do everything. And also all of us were really excited by the prospect of getting involved in that way. But I think at this point, it's every song, even before the album was released, it's every song had been played by us probably hundreds of times. It's we were just rehearsing these songs so much and dialing them in. And just trying to get them to feel good that way,
Absolutely. Anyone care to add anything else on the song creation process?
Yeah.
I'm seeing you back there, Eric.
Just something Danny said reminded me of sort of a funny tidbit, which is that we announced that this album was coming out and announced the release date before most of these songs had been written at all. So we left ourselves a few months to basically make the album. We had a tour booked. We were like, we need to do something, guys, or we're not going to have any music.
Our publicist is wincing over there.
But I think those restrictions of this is our deadline. Obviously, deadlines are a helpful tool for a lot of people. I think that includes us.
Yeah. I also just want to add again, I don't think more time is always better. When I think across the album, some of my favorite moments in the album were just moments of spontaneity in a rehearsal that we just bottled up and said, this is it, this is going on the record. And I don't know if the album would have turned out better if we actually started writing songs a year out instead of a few months out. So
there's a Duke Ellington quote that I love, which is, I don't need more time, I need a deadline. And I think that is just super, super accurate to our solution with how we've written and prepared music in the past and with this most recent project. And the original question you asked about, is there a project manager for the songs individually? I think when we're writing the songs, figuring out structurally how do they go, usually that part starts in kind of the way Danny described, where generally one person or a subset of the group, kind of, I guess, has their creative vision being heard by the rest of the band, and the rest of the band tries to help them execute that vision. And there's also a lot of collaboration where people suggest different things. But then once we're actually recording and producing the music, because we're an entirely self-produced band, usually a song ends up on someone's laptop. And it's that person kind of becomes the project manager for that song. And it's there are pretty much everyone in the band had a song on their laptop that they were in charge of for a phase of working on it. And it's like progress is kind of up to them on how the song moves forward.
That's so cool, but also don't be the last person working on a song. I know that when you're in a band coming up, you have to wear more than one hat. You're not necessarily just the guitarist, you're the van driver as well, or you're also doing promotion. What are some of the unofficial roles that you share in the band? And yeah, I'm looking at you, Zach, because when I saw tour manager, like, is that part of your like responsibility that they're like, you have to be the tour manager?
Yeah. I play guitar in the group. I manage the group, tour manage. But everyone in the band is working hard throughout the tour, behind the scenes. We're completely independent, self-managed. We rely on incredible partners like our publicists, our agents booking the tours. But every creative decision, every decision of how the business is shaped and what our decisions are, what our deadlines are, that is completely determined by us, and it's on us to execute.
I'm pretty decent at math for being a radio guy. I know 7 is an odd number, which is perfect if you need to solve a dispute because it is not an even number of people. Is Couch a democracy? Majority rules? How do decisions get made when there are disagreements?
Sometimes we're a democracy. I feel like if someone calls a vote, we become a democracy. But sometimes we just don't think to put it to a vote. And what really, we'll get pretty granular. It'll be like, do you guys like keys playing long notes and guitar doing a rhythmic thing here, or the opposite? And we'll vote on it. And what gets really tricky is when a few of us, we call it RCC, relinquishing creative control, and that's basically abstaining from the vote. So we end up at some impasses anyway, no matter how hard we try to be democratic.
Yeah, the invention of RCCing really messed up the fact that we typically had a tiebreaker.
You have to vote, but now if you can abstain, we're like, now we got 4 people who are making a decision. Is it hard? I mean, like...
Then we just fight.
Big talk.
Just want to add, though, like, there are definitely votes that happen, in the group chats across the band. There are also a lot... If everything got put to a vote, we just wouldn't have time to do anything else.
Right.
Like, you have to give Zach credit for handling so many things and not giving this thing to the band, say, hey, vote on this thing related to the tour, related to booking, related to press, and whatever. It's just like that gets sorted so we don't have to think about it. And maybe the things that we are talking about are just like the art and how we present ourselves and stuff like that.
Right. There's a really delicate balance we try to strike between keeping everyone involved in as many decisions as possible and forward momentum, and the band putting their trust in me with our extended trusted team to come up with a plan and execute on a global plan that we'll all vote on and agree on. And then the steps within that plan might not be voted on every step of the way.
You sound like a more functional democracy than some countries I've heard of. I'm not joking. Like, it's because it is your baby. Like, and all of these songs in some way, have a connection to your soul or your art. And you've got a lot of different people to work things out, but it sounds like it really works well for you. So hats off on that regard.
I think a large part of that is just we actually genuinely like each other.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It's 7 people with different personalities, but at the end of the day, we are all family, and we genuinely care about each other and appreciate each other. And we have big talks sometimes, but at the end of the day, like, we all deeply care about the project and each other, and we always know it's in good faith. And that helps any of those big conversations feel not as big as maybe they would in other situations.
Yeah, a lot of us have been friends since middle school, high school. Jared and I met in college, but everyone is basically a childhood friend of one or several members in the band. And that just comes through in how we operate, how we are together on stage. It's just like all of the work that goes into setting up the tour, and then even the day of show, setting up and everything. Then you just get on stage and it's like your friends that you were playing music in someone's basement with in high school, and now you're doing it for 3,500 people.
Yeah. I've been in this room with you guys for the last 4 hours, and it really does show. So it's not lip service, and I think it's really rad. If you're hanging out with us here on World Cafe, I'm talking to Couch. Their debut album is available now. It's called Big Talk. I like to end sometimes on a lighthearted question, and we've got 7 people in the room, so I'm going to ask everyone a really quick question. It's the same question, but it goes to everyone, and I guess we'll start with Jared. What is your favorite condiment?
Oh, easily honey mustard. Honey mustard is something that I'm very passionate about. I mentally keep note of notable honey mustards we come across on the road. We come across many. Culver's is up there on the list, but my all-time favorite is classic Burger King honey mustard. And actually, Zach and I were just talking about this on the drive here, so this is very relevant. Thank you for asking.
Of course. Jeffrey, what say you?
Mayo.
Man after my heart. That's excellent. Eric, what about you?
Barbecue sauce.
Ooh, good one. Good one. Zach?
Chick-fil-A sauce.
Ooh.
These are all A+'s. Tema?
Yeah, mayo or sour cream.
Not bad.
I'm gonna agree with Eric and say barbecue sauce.
All right, Will.
Spicy mayo, generally.
Spicy mayo.
I'm gonna redo mine because Chick-fil-A is a bad company. I don't want to be on public radio saying that.
So, Zach, what you got?
Ketchup.
Oldie but a goodie. You know what? I'm with you on it.
I feel like I should have been more brief. I went on a rant instead.
No. This is the thing. The reason why I ask a condiment question is because I know at least one person in a band is passionate about it.
I guess I'm the guy.
And I really appreciate that, Jared. All
Water
right.
for slopping it up.
We got one more song to get to. It is from the 2023 EP Sunshower. It's Jesse. Why did you bring this one today?
Yeah, Jesse is just one of those songs where we feel like it brings a lot of energy when we play it. You know, there's solos in it, which are fun because it gets to incorporate members of the band. And we just think we bring a really strong energy when we play it. And we also enjoy playing it, which I feel like is an important part of playing things live. So, yeah.
Perfect. Let's listen to Couch, recorded live in studio. Here is Jesse on World Cafe.
I found your photo, your birthday note. Sweet sentiments from long ago. We lay in the grass and soak up the sun. You saw the world different from anyone. Oh, you taught me back at 16, not afraid to tear up the script. Then you turned your back and quit the show. And I'll never, never, never know, Jesse, where'd you go? Why'd you cut me out of your life? Tell me, let me know, yeah. Let me know you're doing alright. Do you regret erasing all of us? Jesse, I'll never know. I know your voicemail better than I know your voice. I get the message, but I don't get the choice. I still feel it in my chest every time I hear your name. If you cut it off clean, would I still miss you the same? Left on my own, don't know where to place the blame. Almost 6 years, but you're still here. In my dreams, I'm always running into you. Now I'm rehearsing what to say. If I see you on another day, oh, Jesse, where'd you go? Why'd you cut me out of your life? Tell me, let me know, yeah. Let me know you're doing alright. Do you regret erasing all of us? Oh, Jesse, I guess we'll never know. Here we go. Ooh, Jesse, up and gone and you left me. Something wrong from the bestie. Why'd you gotta go? 'Cause I gotta know. Ooh, Jesse, up and gone and you left me. Something wrong from the bestie. Why'd you gotta go? 'Cause I gotta know. Ooh, Jesse, up and gone and you left me. Something wrong from the bestie. Why'd you gotta go? 'Cause I gotta know. Jesse, up and gone, you left me.
Recorded live in studio, it's Couch with a performance of Jesse from their 2023 EP, Sun Shower. Their debut album, Big Talk, is out now. Want to thank Jared, Jeffrey, Eric, Zach, Tema, Danny, and Will. Couch, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
We're back in a minute with more World Cafe.